The next thing I want to look at is which one of these operating systems is more valuable, or which one of them will bring more value to your career. So when it comes to the value of these operating systems, I think it will greatly depend on your path. So basically, knowing your way around Windows will get you hired, because most of our help desk entry-level support roles, in most cases, you're supporting the Windows environment. As I think back on my career, I can't think of any time that I was supporting anything other than Windows. So most of the time you're supporting that Windows environment. And then when it comes to Linux, I think the value comes in not from a user standpoint, meaning because most environments the users will be using Windows. So, but I think the value is as a IT professional when you start to get into those higher level roles like a cloud role, or maybe you get into DevOps. The majority of these roles will involve Linux. And then if you're someone that wants to be a cybersecurity professional, you need to also know Linux, because tools like Kali Linux and then other applications that you use or other tools within cybersecurity, all of those are built on Linux. So in short, in my opinion, I think Linux has more of the long-term growth because it helps you to stand out. You know, because most environments, most people were comfortable with Windows, but you see very few people that's comfortable with Linux. So in my eyes, I think that someone having a Linux certification will definitely help you stand out, because that's something that the majority of people don't go for. So take me, for instance. I've been in IT for over 10 years. I have yet to go down the Linux path. So that's something that I've added to my list to learn more Linux, because I'm seeing as more and more technologies come about, Linux is in all of those technologies. So you need to know some form of Linux just to get into that technology. So like the cloud is a big thing now. And also that cloud is built on, you got to know some Linux within that cloud. So Linux is almost everywhere. So especially when it comes to the IT side of things, as we get more and more technologies, I think knowing Linux is going to be more and more and more valuable. So when it comes to the pay comparison for a Linux administrator and a Windows administrator, basically that Linux administrator came in roughly on average about 83 grand, where the Windows administrator came in at roughly about 79 grand. So remember, the administrator role, that will be a lower level role when it goes to those type of roles. It's not a senior engineer or anything like on that level. So those would definitely be higher. But in the case of comparing admin to admin, Linux came in a little bit higher, but not by much. But then I think where Linux makes a big jump, or knowing Linux makes a big jump, is when you get into the roles such as like a Linux cloud engineer, was those roughly came in anywhere from 120 to 130 grand, depending on the level. If you're a senior, some of those roles was roughly around 150 and up. So as you can see, there's a big jump when you get into those cloud environments, because in every cloud environment, Linux is utilized. So let me know in the comments, which one of these operating systems do you know better, Windows or Linux? And how has it helped your IT career?